Okay, good morning, everybody. We're going to start the chitzah of the day. Today is Monday, the second day of Teves. We are holding in Parshas Vayigash. We're holding the story of Yehuda coming closer to Yosef and fighting for his brother. That's what we're holding right now in the Parsha. So Yehuda tells Yosef, if our father is going to see that the young boy is not here, but mace and he will die. And you're going to bring down our father, brought down to his grave in sadness, in grief of the grave. Rashi says, because the father will not see the child, of the Mitzrayim, not the child. The argument, who will die? Some people hold the child will die, or being away from his father. Rashi says that it means that the father will die. Yaakov will die if he will not see his son. Now the question is, why did I get involved? Because I, your servant, assume responsibility for the boy. From his father. Lamer saying, if I will not bring it to you, I will sin for my father all my days forever. So that's just now if you ask why I enter into the argument more than anybody else, I will reply that they all standing from the outside without commitment, while I am bound myself, strong bond with the outcast of both worlds. I'll give up both my worlds, this world and the world to come. And therefore, my advice to you is, let your servant become the slave. I'll become the slave, and let this young guy go up with his brothers. Rashi says, why am I? I'm much better. I'm better than him anyway and everything. I'm stronger than him. I am I'm better warrior than him, and I can do much better service for him than you. Because how can I go up with my father? And the young boy is not going to be with me. Then I might see in the misery which my father will find himself. Well, in chapter 45, verse number 1. And Yosef could not bear all of this. Love to all that was standing around him. He called, he said, let everyone leave the room. Nobody should stand there when Yosef would make himself known to his brothers. So Rashi says he could not bear that the Egyptians would stand beside him and hear his brothers being embarrassed. Couldn't handle that. When he would make himself known to his brothers. When everybody left the room, he started to cry. He cried so loud that the Egyptians heard. And the whole house heard him crying. Hashem, what mean the house? The house of Pharaoh, namely his servants, the members of his houses, they all heard him screaming and crying. Yosef told his brothers, Ani Yosef, I am Yosef. Is my father still alive? And his brothers could not answer him. Because they startled by his presence. After they have bushes and pushed embarrassed. It was an embarrassing moment. So Yosef told his brother, Yeshua, come closer. Yeshua, and they came closer. And Yosef said, brother, which you have sold me to Egypt. So now she says he saw them walking backwards. He said, now my brothers are embarrassed. He called them tenderly, pleading with them. And now she says he showed them, he didn't believe him. So he showed him that he was circumcised. Verse number 5, now he told him, don't be sad. Do not be troubled. That you sold me here. You see, Yosef HaTzadik, how much divine providence, he believed in divine providence. He said, you think you sold me here? It's all the Eivishter Pasha you did the greatest thing. Because now, because you sold me, I became a king in Egypt. And now I'm going to give you, I'm going to preserve you. This whole selling was all for the sake of preserving you. Because we are in the 2 years of famine, Bekedav Haaretz in the land. Shaman is another 5 years. That there's not going to be any food. So now she says, okay, we have 2 years have passed, we have 3 years yet to go. And God has sent me before you. To make for you a remnant. But honestly, I'm gonna give you sustenance. And to make for you a great deliverance. So you thought you sold me, but actually the Eivishter plan, God planned this whole thing out. So here, not only he said the divine prophet, hey, look at this, all divine prophet, the Eivishter without you wouldn't have sold me, we wouldn't survive. So everything that happens is all min hashamayim. Don't be sad, don't be angry. See, that's why Yosef is called Yosef HaTzadik, Yosef, who's righteous man. That completes the Chumash of today. We go now to the Tanya today. We are holding in middle chapter 4 of Tanya. And the Alter Rebbe is explaining the concept of Torah. We take Torah for granted. Everything we take in life for granted. But the Gemara says that God gave a great oitzer. God took a great treasure from above and gave it to the Jewish nation. Ultimately gave it to the world. Gave the world a Torah. So the Alter Rebbe is trying to press upon us that we should realize the greatness of Torah. And therefore the Torah is compared to water. Water comes from the sky. It comes from the ocean, ultimately comes back from the sky. It goes back to the lowest places. Water goes to the lowest places. Wherever water will constantly flow downwards, it will go to the most deepest and lowest places where it can go. That's the way the Eibishter created the concept of water. So the water which reaches the lower levels at the same water that left from the source, but in the highest levels. Unlike light, for example, which also travels from its source, but whose case is not the source, the luminous body. It's not the same thing. It's a light that shines from the source. You don't have the source. But here with water, it comes the water that was above, comes mamish, the same water comes below. Doesn't change. Didn't become something, did not erase from the water that's above. The water that's above comes below, which can be communicated from one person to another person, right? But only the ray itself, and unlike intellect, which can also be communicated from one person to another person, but in whose case too, is not the source. The teacher's mind itself transmits itself to the lower level of the student, but the idea, but only the idea, a product of the source, even let's say a concept of intellect, from one person, the teacher to a student, that the student gets the teacher's understanding, but it's only a ray of the teacher's understanding. It doesn't have the teacher in him. The Eibishter was the greatest teacher. God was the greatest teacher. He had the capability to take him take something and actually bring it down the way it's above. So the Torah is the Chachma of the Eibishter. We should realize the Torah is the wisdom of God. And as he explained before, God and his wisdom is one. So when you open up a Chumash and you read a pasuk, you're pashit grabbing the Eibishter, grabbing God. So to the Torah came down from a very high place. Place of the glory, lofty spiritual plane, which is the will and the wisdom of God. And the Torah and God is one. The less machshavet tvisvei klal, and the Torah that is the wisdom of God. And as we explained before, that God and his wisdom cannot be understood. Sham yarda nasava yarda b'seis madreges, but then this wisdom traveled, journey, descended through hidden stages, stage after stage, and say the shtalshus of the worlds. Meaning, say the shtalshus you'll hear many times. Say the shtalshus means a chain-like order of interconnection spiritual worlds. Explaining fully in chapter 2 already, right? From the world of Atzilus to from the world of emanation, through a chain-like event that came to the world of creation. And for the world of creation, it came down to the world of formation. And for the world of formation, like a chain-like event, it came down to the world of action. So the Torah, ultimately, from the wisdom of God, it ain't safe. Through the chain-like event from world to world, came down. Until this wisdom of God came and clothed itself in physical things. And this physical world, which is the majority of Torah, and all its commandments and its laws. So what does it mean? Nearly all mitzvahs involve material objects, like wearing pair of tzitzis made out of wool, tefillin made out of leather, and so on. Even the spiritual mitzvahs involves material objects in their halachas, the laws governing their particular application. For example, the mitzvah of loving one fellow. Although essentially is a spiritual mitzvah to love, as it consists of an emotion, love demands that one aid his fellow Jew materially. You can't just love somebody with your heart. Everybody loves everybody. It means help him. To love your fellow Jew means to be there for him. Financially, physically, verbally. So these things being concrete material expressions of a spiritual mitzvah. So you have to love, when you love the Eibishter, what means love the Eibishter? It means I daven, I pray to him, I learn Torah, I do mitzvah. Love is an emotion that demands an action. But through faith, Gashmi and B'day, then ultimately the Torah was written on a parchment, on a physical parchment. It was made from a cow. And this leather that we took from the cow, made it into a cloth, made it into a parchment. Then we took ink and we wrote letters, physical letters, on this parchment, which comprised of the 24 Esim Rabba Sfarim Shebet, which is comprised of 24 books of the Torah, like Tanakh, Torah, Nevi'im, Ksuvim, the Torah, the 5 books of Moses, and then the Nevi'im, the prophets, and then the Ksuvim, the writings, and we have the 24 books of the Torah. So the Torah, the wisdom of the Eibishter, the will of God, came down in a physical parchment. Why? Why? How? Why? Why would God, and that's what the Malachim argued, why would God take his wisdom and put it on a parchment? We know right away, in general, when you write something down, or you print something, now you make these mistakes in it. People can make a mistake. That's why there was Torah Sheba'al Peh. The rabbis also didn't want to write anything down. With anything you write down, can become, mistakes can happen. Even the Alter Rebbe, right from the beginning of Tanya, that people can make mistakes. People that write it again and print it again can make mistakes. It's a dangerous thing to write something down. But the Eibishter came down and wrote a Torah. Why? Because God wanted that every human being's thought should grasp him. The Eibishter didn't want to keep any secrets. He wanted humanity to understand him. Not because he wanted to be understood. He wanted humanity to understand that they should know a purpose in life. He would give them a direction, or give them a purpose, or give them a light. So that not only would they live in darkness, and they would live in a world that is dark, and would live in a personal darkness, they would have an agenda. They would have a purpose. They would have even a purpose in their speech and their actions. Which is lower than the level of understanding. That the Eibishter came and he clothed himself in a physical thing so that they would be able to close. By performing their will, so they, humans, will be able to clothe themselves in a spiritual garment. They would give themselves to be able to drink this water. It's like water. Torah is compared to water. Majority of our existence is water. If you don't have water, chas shalom, especially in Florida, you can dehydrate. We need water. We need the Torah to keep us hydrated, to make sure that we understand and comprehend what the Eibishter, what God wanted in creation, especially in my own creation. And therefore the Eibishter came down like water, so that everybody, like Rashi says, I'm writing my interpretation so a 5-year-old child can understand the Chumash. Because the Eibishter God wanted that a 5-year-old child should learn Chumash. Not adults, not even adults or great sages, a 5-year-old child. So a 5-year-old child should be able to open the Chumash and understand what he is reading and comprehend it. The Eibishter wanted that he would come down ultimately into a 5-year-old child, and then ultimately that the child grows and matures, will go deeper into the Chumash. And then he'll go deeper as he gets older and older and older. And every year he'll read the Parsha again and again and again, and he will learn deeper and deeper and understand more and more and more as he journeys into the Chumash, into the Torah, into the word of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's it. It's the expression that Alter Rebbe will bring later. It says, where do you see the greatness of God? We see his, so to say, his humility. God, who is infinite, can come down in a very finite verse. Not really we're reading like the story of Yosef and his brothers. The Eibishter is infinite, ein sof, chachma that is unlimited. But then the Eibishter comes down, God comes down, that a 5-year-old child can read that pasuk, understand that verse, connect to that verse. But at the same time, as a 5-year-old child understands that verse, in that verse, you have the wisdom of God, which is infinite. And that's why on every verse of the Torah, there's infinite amount of explanations, interpretations, and meanings in the verse. 5-year-old child, take him a lifetime, and maybe even in a lifetime, he will not understand the verse of the Torah, because of the journey of a lifetime. Now, since the Torah commands clothes all 10 faculties of the soul, And all of the soul's 613 organs mentioned before. The soul has 613, the body has 613 organs, because the soul has 613 lights. And the soul wants to clothe itself in the 613 organs. It wants to connect its 613 lights to the 613 organs. The soul doesn't want to only come into your head. The soul doesn't want to only come into your heart. The soul wants to come into every limb of your body. He wants that this light, his light, the light of God, should not only be in one part of the body. He wants to be in every part of your life. And my friends, that's what the Torah surrounds you, comes into you in every part of your life. The soul wants to be completely bond with God in the bond of life. He wants to be enveloped, enclosed from head to foot. The soul says, I want the whole body. That when they look at you, they say, here is a Torah Jew. Every one of us is a walking Torah. Every one of us is a walking Torah Jew. That's why halacha, you should know, is called halacha. Halacha is law, but it's not the real meaning of halacha. Halacha means to go. You're a walking law. That when a person sees you walking down the street, he sees a Torah Jew. Not Yankel, it's the Torah Jew. Oh, his name is Yankel too. His name is Jack. Here's a Torah Jew. That's what the Eibishter wanted. And that's why he gave us a Torah. In a very, very simplistic and something that comes into everything that we do. The expression in the Hayom Yom, the Rebbe writes, that's what a chassid is supposed to be. And when you see a chassid, even when he's eating, you say, here's eating a chassid. This is the way a chassid sleeps. This is the way a chassid walks. That's what chassidus came to the world. Not it's I have a philosophy. It's a nice philosophy. The Torah is a nice philosophy. No. The Torah wants to be bonded with you in everything you do. So you're going to eat differently. You're going to sleep differently. You're going to think differently. You're going to act differently. Because you're going to become bonded with it. That's what we mentioned in the second chapter of Tanya, the concept of das. The concept of das is it becomes me. It becomes my knowledge. It's not just a philosophy. Oh, I have an unbelievable philosophy. No, this isn't. Because I become it. I become part of it. The Eibishter came down. That's why it's compared to water. Water is a sustenance. You can't live. That's why there's an expression. Torah is compared to bread, also lechem umayim. Because you can't live without it. Not something, I can live without it. No. Torah is something I live by. I can't live without food. It makes me human. I can't live without Torah. That makes me a Torah Jew. And that's the beauty of the aspect of Torah in general and mitzvahs. Some people look at Torah mitzvah like a burden. Do you look at food as a burden? It's my existence. I can't live without it. I'm a Torah Jew. I can't live without Torah. Because it tells me how to live. So just like I'm human, I'm a Torah Jew. I'm a Jew, which is a Torah Jew. It's the same thing. You can't separate the two concepts. Torah is our life. So the Hakrulub to the Chaim Mamish, So his soul. Okay, so when I connected this, my soul is truly completely bound with God in the bond of light, and the very light of God envelops and clothes it from head to toe. As it's written, God is my rock, in whom I take refuge. And naturally, only which surrounds a person can protect him, as it's first written, and with a shield, God will surround it. So I take David and surround myself with God physically. He becomes my shield. He becomes my everything. Which is the wisdom, the will, and the wisdom of God. Which is enclosed in Torah mitzvahs. So when I connect myself to the wisdom and the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, which is God, become one entity with it. So we see at any rate that although God's wisdom and will is beyond man's reach, right? Because who can understand the wisdom of God? They are made accessible to him. Why? Because the Torah is clothed in the physical terms. And the commandments are vested in a physical object. So therefore, we can, and we have the capability to, just like water, digest and become part of us. We have the capability to take something that comes from such a high place that on one hand, we cannot comprehend. It's impossible to comprehend, to bring it down and to make it something that we can digest, and it becomes part of our life. It becomes part of our light. It becomes part of our existence. What a chus, what a merit we have to be able to take something that's so high and make it part of our personal existence. It's unbelievable, and that's where we see the greatness of the Eibishter, that he can come down and bring himself down in such a physical reality to make a Jew live like a Jew and become a Torah Jew. Unbelievable concept. So that ends the Tanya of the day. Today is the second day of Teves, which the chapters of Tehillim are chapter 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So chapter 10 to chapter 17, and you would have done the Tehillim of the day, and you would have done the Chitas of the day. Have a wonderful day every day. Today is Zos Chanukah, the seventh day of Chanukah, which is the culmination of what the whole beautiful concept of Chanukah comes to teach us. It's a very spiritual, godly, holy day. Connect to the day. Connect to the eighth day of Chanukah, which the whole concept of the eighth day of Chanukah is above the concept of the world and the way it ultimately comes into the world through the menorah of 8 candles. Today we have that capability of connecting to the Eibishter on a much higher level, and God responds in an unbelievable level and gives us light, gives us his light, his unlimited light, gives us his light to each one in our lives. And I wish you a wonderful Chanukah, and may you all have a wonderful and beautiful